There it goes. Hey, it's Bill, and you're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, featuring the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer, right here on PARockShow.com, MegaRockRadio.net, 107.1 FM, St. Louis, Missouri, XRPRadio.co.uk, AltRockRadio.ca, RootarooRadio.com, BuildTheScene.com. I think I hit them all. This is that point in every episode where I go, if I didn't, you can find them at BuildTheScene.com on the podcast page. This is episode number 558 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. With me tonight are the, I was going to say gentlemen because I'm so used to just saying gentlemen. The people from Anxiety at Best. What's up, guys?
Hey, guys. Hey, Bill.
Real quick, introduce yourselves. I know this is round 2 for you, but that doesn't mean everybody has watched the first one.
That's all right. I'm Caitlin Bliss. I'm the lead vocalist.
I'm Everett Foster. I do bass and I do backup screaming.
I'm Chris Easley and I do guitar.
I noticed that your drummer is missing.
About that.
Yeah.
I think it's covered really well in the video. That's
yeah, he just kind of up and disappeared.
Yeah.
I can hear myself again.
Oh.
Oops.
Sorry. You turn it down a little bit. Is that better?
Check. Not really.
Huh.
Oops. Well, pretty soon it's going to get so low that we're not going to be able to hear you.
Yeah, that'll be a problem. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
That's livable. I can hear myself, but it's not as loud as me speaking to you.
Sorry about that.
So the video I was referring to, you guys are playing live, and then it goes to the throne of the drum kit, and there's an object there.
Yeah, we kind of figured since that pretty much is our drummer, so he might as well get some of the spotlight.
Reading the comments after seeing that was pretty entertaining, though. One of my favorites was, "Oh, the ghost drummer is awesome."
I think my favorite comment afterwards was when your drummer is also the cameraman.
For those of you that have not seen the video, I'm not going to ruin it. You're going to have to go watch it. I'm assuming you guys have it embedded on your website?
Yep,
There is the link there, yep.
So, Anxiety at Best. The I is before the E.
Indeed it is.
For those of you that struggle with it like me, it's also scrolling below us over that way a little bit. So, I before E, except after C, except when it doesn't work, which is never. I'm teaching Spanish this year, and I tried to explain to my students that Spanish is easier than English, and that's one of the examples I use. I was like, listen, I before E, except after C, except it's never like that.
I don't know Spanish, though, so.
Well, Spanish actually got a little harder recently, and I don't want to go into too much detail, but everything is either masculine or feminine, so everything's either male or female. So when you use your words are different based on who you're speaking to. Well, there's a lot more pronouns now. So one of my 5th graders asked me about that today, and I said, I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry.
I mean, honesty is the best answer.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be messaging my high school Spanish teacher later and see if she knows the answer. She's a little older. She might go off. We'll see. Anyway, so back in December, you guys released a self-titled album. How many tracks are on that?
There are 8. There are 8 tracks. to the album. The first song is kind of like an intro, more or less song. It's still, what is it? It's still like
It's roughly 2 minutes, but it's more of like an instrumental type song that leads into the rest of the album.
Now, is it like a concept album? Does each song lead into the next, or
No, it's not a concept album.
okay.
This one was like the first album like that we did as a band. So like we enjoy it, but it's kind of like testing out the waters of like different kinds of genres almost. Like it's not all the same at all. It's each song is kind of in its own, which it makes it cool, but also makes it kind of all over the place.
So it's like my classroom or my podcast.
Yeah.
See, I asked this question last time. I'm almost positive I did, but maybe your answer has changed. If there's a catastrophic event, does it sound familiar? No? Good. If there's a catastrophic event and most of the life on Earth is wiped out, and there's a handful of people left, and those people have the job of repopulating the Earth, but only one song from every band in existence survived that catastrophic event, which Anxiety at Best song should survive and help those people repopulate the Earth?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Huh.
And you didn't even read into that yet.
Yeah.
Think about what I actually asked you.
Would help them.
Yeah.
Oh, would help them.
The anger inside.
Oh, wait. Maybe a light in the night.
I mean, there's the one part where it's like pushing harder.
Okay, then.
I promise it's not about that kind of thing. That's just a line in the song.
I always preempt the show and tell bands that it's PG-13, and then I ask that question, right?
Here's I was going to say the other one could be The Wanting. Like just
Maybe.
the title, maybe the one. I don't know.
I gotta think about what the actual song's about,
That's
though.
jokes.
I mean, that's why I said the anger inside.
All right, so what's the anger inside about then?
I mean, the title's pretty self-explanatory. I'd say it's probably about, the anger that kind of just builds up inside, and after some time, it just breaks, and it's all coming out.
So, I mean, maybe you're angry that you have to do that.
Maybe, because maybe
in that time.
Not all that into who's left.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just take it all out.
Yeah.
Okay, that went terribly in the wrong direction. And 100% my fault. Did I ask you the Dave Grohl question?
I don't
think so.
No.
Awesome. I'm just going to start asking them without asking you. All right, so I have this semi-goal that I set to get Dave Grohl onto this show.
I think I saw that.
Now,
No.
the problem with that is every attempt I've made has been ignored, including emailing his management. They didn't even respond to my email. So what I'm hoping is, because I now have this question that I call the Dave Grohl question, is somewhere in the deepest, darkest pits of the internet, someone is going to say, hey, this guy's asking this question about Dave Grohl, and someone's going to see it that knows Dave Grohl, and then he's going to find out, because apparently that's what it takes. I mean,
That'd be awesome.
He did, I don't know if you guys saw, he did a drum competition against like a 6-year-old.
Huh.
So, he just needs to see it. I just need to find the right person to tell him where it is. So the newest thing that I think I'm going to do, it was suggested by another band, is that I should actually try and contact Taylor Hawkins, the drummer, and because he seems to be the one that nobody knows, so he might be more apt to respond.
Yeah.
But So the question is really simple, and it's based off of when I'm on YouTube. No matter what I search, within like 5 videos, I'm watching a Foo Fighters song. Like I can look up how to sew a button on a shirt, and 5 videos later, if I let it auto run, the Foo Fighters are on. I don't know how that happened, but it happens all the time for me. So most of those videos are of the Foo Fighters on stage, somebody holding up a song saying, I want to play whatever song with you. And then he brings them up and gives them a hard time, and then they play the song, and it's really good, and then he kicks them off stage. Now, the reason that intrigues me is one of my favorite things in the local music scene is when you're at a show and you're watching this band play and they spot someone that's in another band out in the crowd and they invite them up to do a song with them. I absolutely love that. So the first time I saw the Foo Fighters do that, I'm like, hey, that's really cool. So what I want to do is I want to talk to Dave not only about being in Nirvana and being in Foo Fighters and them whatever, all the bands he's been
Bulgers.
in. Yeah, that's it. But I want to find out where that started and why he's willing to take that chance. Because, some people have, there's a guy he called the Kiss guy. Almost see,
I saw that.
see,
Yeah.
everybody knows what I'm talking about. People are becoming famous because they played with the Foo Fighters. And, so I want to talk to him about it. But if he doesn't respond to me, I can't talk to him about it. Anyway, the question is, who is your Dave Grohl? So if you were at a concert and you wanted to go up on stage and play a song with the band, which band would be on stage?
Ooh, that's another good one.
And a really long intro, right?
It's suiting though.
I mean, I know for me it'd be Led Zeppelin for sure. I mean, obviously they're not like a thing anymore, but like if I could go back.
See, I have that question too.
I think for me, it would probably have to be, I'd have to say Hailstorm, because I would love to be able to work on the.
Oh no. You guys just got really choppy on me. Oh, what is going on? Oh, there it is. It went like slow motion.
Are we back now?
Yes, but
All right, cool.
but I need you
for
to
me-
wait. We need to start over. I need everybody to re-answer it. So when I edit it,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I'm not going to
Chris.
repeat the question though.
All right, for me it'd be Led Zeppelin for sure. If I could go back at least.
So
For me, I'd have to say Hailstorm, because I would love to do a collab with Lizzie Hale, because she's just an amazing shredder on the guitar. Like I said, just chef's kiss. I just want to work on a song with her, so I would love to play with her.
Me, it'd probably be, I like so much music. Honestly, it'd be I would like to go do a song with Eminem.
I am not a huge hip hop fan, but I can sit and watch 8 Mile
Yeah.
any day of the week. I love that
Like-
movie.
I'm not a hip hop fan either, especially like New Day. Like New Day hip hop's kind of weird to me, but like, I mean, it's Eminem.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
he transcends genres.
oh yeah,
Let me using that big word.
yeah.
All right, so let's go back to your going back in time thing. We're gonna pull a Huey Lewis and go back in time. The song. So, if you could go back in time without breaking the time-space continuum, see, more Back to the Future, what band would you want to follow around to learn from? And yes, you can say Led Zeppelin again.
Yeah, I would just go with Led Zeppelin again.
Well, what band I would follow around? Ooh. Honestly, I think I'd probably want to follow Fleetwood Mac because one, all the drama would be really entertaining. Two, I just would love to see how they all made that work.
I would go back with Dave Grohl, and I'd fall around Nirvana.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I don't know if you guys saw, but recently, and I'm gonna blank on his name, lead singer from Maroon 5. He's on The Voice.
Oh.
Adam Levine.
Adam Levine. Adam Levine has jumped onto Gene Simmons' bandwagon and says that there are no bands left. And Gene Simmons says that rock is dead. So between the two of them, they're killing off the music scene. How do you feel about that?
Wait, it's funny you mentioned that because I literally saw an article about this the other day where Alice Cooper came down on Gene Simmons about that claim. No, I think it's bullshit. Oh, can I say that?
Well, I mean, it's a little late.
Crap, I'm sorry.
No, that one is borderline, but it's not one that I'm going to edit out. You're good.
Okay.
There's
I'll keep that in mind from now on.
There's one that you should definitely not say.
I'll keep that in mind. My bad. But yeah, I don't think that's true. Because there's just so many bands, like, personally that we know, just in this area alone, that are working their way into the industry. So I just think there's just a lot of undiscovered talent yet to be discovered. So that's why I don't think that claim is true.
Well, so I'm a Gene Simmons fan, like, in general. Not so much that, but, like, Gene Simmons is, like, one of my, like, I don't know, not, like, music heroes, but, like, I think he's pretty rad. Can I say something about Adam Levine, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my favorite thing about Adam Levine is after he performed at the Super Bowl, and there was a meme created about him that said, when you walk into a tattoo shop and get every Flash tattoo they have on the wall. So I just like to say, like, you know, I mean, it's well deserved. You know, I guess, like, I don't know. I don't really like him. I'm sorry. Hopefully he's not watching this, because if so, I mean, I really like you, Adam.
Well, listen, if Adam's watching, maybe he can call Dave for me and let him know that I'm watching my show. I mean,
hopefully they are.
There's another meme, and he has that guitar tattoo on his side, and the meme says, when you get a tattoo of an Epiphone instead of a Gibson.
That's funny.
And there it went. If he's listening, he's not calling Dave for me.
Yeah, right?
No, listen, the man can sing. There's no doubt, but it's not my genre.
No.
Yeah.
All right, so do I want to stick with movies? No, I'm going to give you a different one. All right, so you have the chance to play with any band.
Sorry, the furnace.
You have the chance to play with any band in history at any location you want. So think like Metallica playing in Antarctica, somewhere that you wouldn't think to normally play at. Who would you want to play with, and where would you want to play?
I would probably go Rage Against the Machine at, like, the Democratic Convention. Because that, like, I don't know, it got pretty wild.
Oh, man. That's a good question. I actually don't really know, but I would like to do anything that had anything to do with Woodstock back in the day, just because I'm really interested as to what actually... I mean, we can always look back and see what happened, but to actually be there and experience everything, like, I just think that'd be a really interesting experience. So playing there.
So side note before Everett answers, my question about going back in time and following a band around actually came from a in-service I did with social studies teachers, and the question was if you could go back in time to any important time in history and spend a year there, where would you go? And I was like, oh, I'd go back to the 60s so that I could be at Woodstock. And that's where that question came from.
That's awesome.
All right, go ahead, Everett.
Anywhere. I would definitely go somewhere warm.
So not Antarctica.
Yeah, not Antarctica. Sorry, Metallica. I would definitely like maybe Hawaii and play a show. I really don't know any. Maybe Hawaii volcano, like playing like right underneath a volcano somewhere with like a volcano in the background, be cool. Like if there's a stage there, that'd be pretty cool.
There wouldn't be a stage for very long.
Well, no, but like I don't know, like far enough that you can still see the volcano, but like.
I mean, they flow pretty slowly there. You could probably,
So like
that's
maybe during.
That's what I'm teaching my sixth graders right now. We're talking about lava and magma and formation of rocks.
So like maybe during like my set, it could like slowly come down the hill, and then for like the headliners, they can just burn. No, I'm just joking.
Yep. And now Adam's gone. Not only is he not going to call Dave, but he just left.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be cool though. Like somewhere like warm and like scenic like that. And it would probably be. I'm gonna go with like As Lay Dying. They're like my favorite band, probably my favorite metal band. I think that'd be cool to share something with them.
All right. So you guys are going out on a tour, international tour, and I get to tag along because why not? And in between show dates, what kind of music would we be listening to? What would the soundtrack of your tour be?
Probably whatever I play at this. Whenever we're going to the studio, I usually drive, and I just have this big long playlist on my Spotify. It's just my life songs, and it is a wide variety of stuff. Anywhere from like As I Lay Dying to Pantera to Big Time Rush to Avril Lavigne. There's all kinds of mix. So honestly, it'd probably be a mixture of that, or whoever is wanting to play their music. But I don't think we'd really care.
Well, it's kind of nice though, because if Bill was on tour with us, okay, so like we usually take like Caitlin's car because she usually drives because we can fill all the space in there and all that. And the other day, we stopped by Get-Go the other day. Like we always stop at Get-Go before we go to the studio. That's just like, that way we can get energy drinks, breakfast, whatever. And Caitlin gets out of the car to go throw something away or to go back in the store or something like that. And me and Chris are just sitting there. And we're sitting in the parking lot at Get-Go. And all of a sudden, Big Time Rush comes on. And we're just looking around like, yep, two dudes just listening to Big Time Rush. And so you can join us and be the third dude listening to Big Time Rush.
Okay, then.
Side note, we think we might have seen Ben Roethlisberger that day.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure, but it might have been him. It kind of looked like him.
Do you know who Yuri Slager is?
That sounds familiar.
Wait, what did you say?
Yuri Slager.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
He played for the Penguins back when...
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So I used to work in Kittyland at Kennywood. And
okay.
I was the manager and the assistant manager in the front of Kittyland. There's two. There's front and back, which really simply is when you're walking Kittyland, the first 7 rides are the front and the back 7 are the back. So anyway, there's this guy in there with his kids, and the assistant manager comes running over to me. He's like, hey, that looks like Slager. And I'm like, no, that's not Slager. He's like, no, really, it looks like Slager. And he reaches over my back, grabs my shirt, pulls it up over my head, and starts hitting me like he's fighting me. The guy comes walking over. It is Slager. and he goes, what are you doing? So I met Yuri Slager because my assistant manager pretended to ice hockey fight me.
That's awesome.
By the way, Yuri Slager was afraid to ride Kittyland rides with his kids.
Aww.
Why was he afraid to ride them?
He said that they weren't tame enough.
Oh.
Well then.
Oh.
I guess he can't handle the
A man known for running into people was afraid to ride a Kittyland ride.
Aw.
But I met him. That was cool. I also met Gene Simmons, by the way.
Nice.
Oh.
And a whole bunch of other people. Well, that's an off-air story, though. Most of them in Kittyland.
Oh.
Like Rod Woodson. And Lynn Swan. Lots of famous people.
Really?
Yep. I actually, back when that was happening, Lynn Swan had adopted a kid. And there was a United Way commercial where he introduced his new son in the commercial. And I was running the merry-go-round in Kittyland, and he handed me his son, and I recognized his son, not him. I looked at the kid, and I looked up and went, "You're Lynn Swan!"
That's awesome.
I don't know who does that. I recognize the baby. But anyway, if you could spend an hour on that bench that everyone talks about, where you can go and sit on a bench and talk to anyone, what musician would you want to spend that hour with? Now, there's a caveat here. You're only allowed to ask one question of that musician. So, who would you want to speak to, and what question would you ask? So, the broader the question, the more information you're going to get, but it may not be detailed enough for what you were looking for. So, you really have to think that one through.
I would probably ask Robert Johnson if he actually sold his soul.
That's a great question. At the crossroads.
Yeah.
And they're going, he could have answered more in depth, and I don't have time to think about it. That was fast too.
I mean, I don't know. I always want to know. That'd be cool to know. If the stories are true.
I mean, they said he was terrible, and he left town, and he came back, and he was phenomenal. Something
Yeah.
happened.
You can go if you have something.
I would. That is tough. I'm thinking I don't know. You know what? I would talk to David Bowie, because I feel and the question I would ask him would be what his favorite costume and his favorite costumes of what he wore on stage would be. That includes makeup and all that kind of stuff, because over the eras of Bowie, he had a lot of that go into his time.
All right, I guess that just leaves me. I have I'm stuck between two, but I think I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with Ronnie Radke of Falling in Reverse on this one, just because of the sole fact that I'm curious to hear about everything. I don't know if you know what happened with him with all his drum. Okay, so long story short, he got accused of a bunch of things and was on drugs, did a lot of crappy stuff, and ended up going to jail. And he came out of it and started Falling in Reverse, and then that's the name of the band, by the way. But anyways, I just wanted to ask him about, his time in prison and how that inspired him to change and become the better person that he is. Well, better in the general sense. He's still kind of a jerk in a lot of ways, but I digress.
All right, so now we've called him a jerk. We chased Adam Levine away. We've said that Adam and Gene have ruined the music scene. What else have we said?
I'm sorry, Bob, but
burning a headliner.
Bill, if any of these people know Dave
burning
Grohl,
headliners.
I'm sorry, Bill, you're probably not getting them.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you what you think I would do, based on our conversation so far. Who do you think I would ask, and what would I ask him? Come on, it's an easy one.
You would ask Dave Grohl that question you were talking about earlier.
Yes, I would want to know how they started pulling people up on stage. You hear that, Dave? Now you've come up a bunch of times. And I'm still probably being ignored.
See, but we haven't said anything bad about Dave Grohl, because Dave Grohl is awesome.
Well, the other link with Dave Grohl is that he's involved with the SOS, the Save Our Stages. And I'm sure you guys have seen the SOS PGH concert series thing that I've been posting ad nauseum, which actually benefits the SOS. It's NEVA, National Independent Venue Association's Emergency Fund. And the monies that are raised through that fund get passed out through like a grant program to venues and music scene related companies that are struggling through the pandemic. So maybe that's the approach I should take. We actually, the SOS PGH people, that I'm part of that. I do their website and interviews. We actually have a T-shirt with Dave's name on it. So maybe I should send him an email and say, "Hey, I have a T-shirt for you." I mean, everybody likes
That's
T-shirts.
awesome.
So anyway, that's since I got that plug in there, it's SOS2020pgh.com. And if you want to check out the concert series, just go /concerts. I don't think an official announcement has been made for season 2, what's happening on season 2, but it starts April 8th. There are 4 more weeks. It's $10 to get a ticket, and you will also get to watch season 1, so you'll have 8 weeks worth of live streaming music that you can watch, plus some video on demand. I think there's like 76 music videos in there from local bands that you can check out too. There, we'll throw a plug in. Since I brought that up, I'm assuming you guys have been having trouble playing shows just like everybody else.
Yeah.
If you had a moment to speak to venue owners about the current situation, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them, just like, well, I know how hard it is, with like businesses and like, you want to be there. You want to be there for local bands, but you also have to worry about your own well-being with that business too. And like, I know a lot of like the local, like, if you have like a concert venue, a lot of them feel bad for the bands because they haven't been able to have those shows. But, we feel bad. The bands feel bad for them being that they're, not being open too. So it's, we both the bands and the concert owners are feeling bad for each other, but it's really no one's fault. Things happen. So I would just like to let the concert venue, the owners know that like the bands, like as far as I'm concerned, there should be. We don't blame them for what happened at all. Like they had to do what they had to do with the venues and close down and limitations. And it's smart not to open because that's a waste of gas. That's a waste of electric and all that too. So it's playing it safe is a smart thing to do for them.
So before we get too much further into this, let's talk a little bit about that self-titled release. And the single you sent me, Your Life, Your Nutshell. What can you tell me about that track, and then we'll play it?
Well, you came up with the lyrics. What did you write the lyrics about?
Well, I kind of so me and Caitlin, we split a lot of the lyrics. A lot of times, I'll write the lyrics to a song or she'll write the lyrics to a song. And Chris, comes up with, he writes all the riffs, he usually writes my bass line and everything too. And he does a lot of the work on the drums. So we all take part into playing each song. And even on the songs that I write the lyrics to, Caitlin will come up with the melody for it. So it all we all work together.
What's it about though?
Oh yeah. So I kind of just whenever I think of just a nutshell, it's kind of the term is crazy. And so it's your life, you can be crazy if you want, I guess, kind of thing. And that's kind of how I look at it. But it's more to the point. The song is kind of, it's really a song about being bullied, I guess, and kind of overstepping that boundary to not be bullied, and to kind of just conquer whatever you're feeling inside, to be able to become stronger who you are.
To add to that, kind of where it's the main line is, life in a nutshell is hard to crack. Meaning, everyone's heard the phrase oh, that's this in a nutshell, just as a basic summary of whatever they're talking about. That's kind of the impression I get whenever we perform this song or when we do this song live. If we ever get to do this song live. That's kind of the impression I get whenever we were first looking at it. But that's honestly what I think too. You know, it's overcoming bullying, but also in a nutshell, it's like your life, it's what you want to do, and that's kind of the message behind it, in my opinion.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting to hear. That's actually the anti-bullying thing is kind of cool.
What did you think?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to ask me that. So I didn't really have an opinion. I'm really bad at it. Like I listen to songs all the time, and then when somebody tells me what they were thinking about, I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. My wife, she tells people all the time when they're like, well, did you understand what the song was about? She's like, he didn't even listen to the words. I'm like, but I did. It didn't click. So I don't have an answer. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Like, to me, I listen to how the lyrics flow with the music together, and that's what moves me. So maybe in my next 44 years, it'll start clicking together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a moment, and we're going to listen to Your Life, Your Nutshell by Anxiety at Best. Oh, and a siren in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that. No?
Okay, yeah.
They're
Anyway.
coming for us.
Oh no, we bashed down Levine and they found out.
All right, so we're going to take a moment. We're going to listen to Your Life, Your Nutshell, and we'll be right back. For those of you that are watching live, you don't get to hear this song until Friday, because if I played it, they would mute this video, and then you wouldn't get to hear the interview, and we don't want that. So Friday, 6 a.m. on buildascene.com. If you want to listen to it on the radio station, you can go 8 p.m. on buildascene.com. And then it is all over the world for the following week on the different stations I mentioned at the beginning. I don't have those schedules memorized, so I have to go read it. All right, so I'm going to bring us back in as if we listen to the song, ask you a couple more questions, and then let you go on your way. All right. Hey, that was Your Life, Your Nutshell by Anxiety at Best, who happens to be hanging out with me tonight. We talked a little bit about ruining my podcast. No, I mean, we talked about Gene Simmons and Adam Levine and Taylor Hawkins and Dave Grohl and Dave Grohl and Dave Grohl. Maybe he'll hear one of them.
They're all great.
And we learned a little bit about the song Your Life, Your Nutshell. We learned a little bit about the band and that they want me to tag along on tours so that they don't look as bad listening to music they don't think they should listen to. That's just a good summary of the first half hour, right?
I'd say.
All right. So, I watched Coming to America with the 2 in it the other day, and on my screen, my TV over here right now, is the original movie. And I don't know if you've seen them both.
I haven't seen the new one.
All right. So, they're similar enough that you could watch one and not the other one, but they're both good.
Okay.
So, what comes to mind is sometimes you'll hear someone say, every album that band puts out is the same. And some people think that's a bad thing, and some people don't. And the band that comes to mind for me is AC/DC. When you hear an AC/DC album, it sounds the same. Every one of them. But to me, every one of them is worth listening to. What band for you is like that?
Ooh.
That's a brand new question, by the way.
Good one.
That's a very good one.
Huh.
Or you can do the reverse and you tell me one that you don't like to hear because they're all the same.
So I do agree with you on AC/DC though. But with me though, I don't think they all sound as good as the other one. Like like I think they all sound like pretty darn close to being the same. Like, but I like the old era of AC/DC a lot better than I like the new era.
I think most people do.
Yeah.
Are you talking like Bon Scott?
Yeah. Like I like the old AC/DC, not so much the new, but they still have that same. And yeah, I mean Angus Young is still, he's still shredding, but and like, but it's all like the same, just like drum beats and everything. But I mean,
3 chords, a bass drum, and growling.
Yep. But like, I mean, I do like AC/DC, but I like their older stuff a lot better than what I like their current stuff.
Anybody else want to touch that one, or do you want to skip over it?
I really don't think I have a good answer for that question, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I have one either, but if I had to say anything that was kind of in that vein, in my opinion, I listen to a lot of Evanescence, and in my opinion, a lot of their songs sound very similar, with the exception of maybe of like the newer stuff that she's been putting out. But overall, a lot of it does sound pretty similar, but I like it enough that I'll listen to every single song at any point in time.
So this band has already come up a couple times today. Have you heard the new Foo Fighters stuff?
Yeah,
No.
I've heard it. I've heard a bit of it. I know the one song that I've heard a lot is "Waiting on a War."
Mm-hmm.
That's off the new album.
Yep. Have you heard
I think
Shame?
Yeah, I heard that one too.
That one completely different.
Yeah. I'm more of a like an older Foo Fighter fan,
Yep, I'm going with you.
but the one song that really impressed me actually with newer Foo Fighters was it was done on the album that was done before this. And I forget what the name of the album was, but the song called Run that Dave Grohl did, and he like screams the whole way through. That was awesome because like I've never heard Dave Grohl scream like that. And it was like through the whole song, which was, it's crazy to hear a Foo Fighter song where you just scream the whole way through. And like that like really impressed me. But definitely I'm more of like, classics like Everlong and Monkey Wrench and that.
Right. Those are the songs that I'm more familiar with, and Shame is it's not up to that snuff for me.
Yeah.
There, now I'm chasing him away. No wonder why he doesn't come on.
It's like, this guy's gonna roast me.
My daughter was in here earlier, and the Coming to America was on, and every time there was a different character that Eddie Murphy was playing, I was like, that's him, that's him, that's him. And she's like, well, how did they do that? I'm like, it's just makeup. But if you could star in a documentary about any musician, who would you want to portray in that documentary?
Ooh. Like who would we want to like act as?
Yep. Sort of like Machine Gun Kelly was Tommy Lee.
That's a great movie.
I was actually disappointed because I have a feeling that things were really a lot worse than that movie portrayed as. I was like, there's no way that they got the title that they got by just doing that.
No, like they definitely like toned it down to make it for Netflix.
I don't have an answer for myself, but I would be interested to see you ever play Kurt Cobain in a documentary about Kurt Cobain.
Ooh.
I think you could pull off his look.
I could, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for myself, though.
Yeah.
Well, back when I was like had longer hair and like I didn't have a beard, like when I was like younger, like when I was like 17 or 18, I got like a lot of people at one certain time, which I don't agree with totally. But I guess with like without glasses and stuff like that, And I had a lot of people tell me at one point I looked like Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars, which I don't see at all. But like I said, I'm older now. I have glasses. Maybe back then I don't have a picture, or else I'd show it. But apparently at a point in my life, I looked a little bit like Jared Leto. So maybe I could pull off a 30 Seconds to Mars type thing.
Chris, do you have any thoughts, or
No, I don't know, honestly.
Could be anybody.
You could play James Hetfield in a Metallica documentary.
Yeah, dude.
Just James and be like, yeah, after every chord you play.
Let's see. What song that you didn't write do you wish you would have written?
I know one. I know my answer.
Go ahead.
I wish that as a band, we wrote Rodin, Smokeahontas by Attack Attack. Because it is.
Those of you that are not watching the video and you're just listening to this, you now need to go watch the video to see the rest of the band's reaction.
That song is so epic. And it has the best name ever. And it's got, you're heavy, it's light, it's got techno, it's got everything. And just the name, Smokeahontas, is perfect.
They are, Chris, they're trying so hard to hold it together next to you.
And then, even in the music video and Attack Attack, they're known for crabcore, live performance of just getting real low with the guitars on breakdowns, and it's jealousy all over.
Okay. Is that the kind of response you were looking for?
Well, I was looking for any kind of response, but his response really didn't matter on that one. It was your response to what he was saying.
But in all serious note, that is an awesome song, and that was not being sarcastic.
So I'm going to forego Chris. I'm going to forego you guys answering that question, and I'm going to give you a question that Everett doesn't get to answer.
Oh.
And the question is, tell me about an embarrassing moment that someone else in the band had that embarrassed you.
An embarrassing moment?
Yep.
Oh boy. There's a lot of those, actually. A lot of them actually involve you. A lot of them involve Everett, so it's hard to pick just one.
I kind of want to...
Probably the zombie thing, honestly.
Didn't we say that in the last episode?
Yeah.
Probably. The reason
I think we did, but there's got to be something different.
I have one
You're
about
not allowed
myself.
to answer. You're not allowed to answer. Chris, we got to think of something.
Can I give him a hint?
No. Just whisper. I don't know. What is it? Never mind. You can't answer.
I don't know. I can't.
Well, what about practice over the weekend? Didn't he do something real stupid at that point?
Oh, I forget what it was. We were practicing or something, and he started a couple beats early or something, and just me and Caitlin both looked at him. I don't know. It was just
Wait.
we're not mad. We're just disappointed. I don't know.
I'm gonna whisper something.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not answering.
I'll cover my eyes.
What?
Oh! Okay. So a couple of months ago, and back in September, we played this show. Okay, I know. So there was this one song. We played this event that was basically held in honor of this family's daughter who passed away. And so they asked us to play this song that was her favorite song, their daughter's favorite song, in honor of her. So we were like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. And so we kind of took it and it was Fight Song. I don't know if you're from, I don't remember who.
Rachel Platten.
Rachel Platten, that's the artist. it's a pretty good song, like on its own, like it's pop, but anyway, it's good for its genre. So we were asked to do that song, and being the type of genre we are, we decided to kind of edge it up just the tiniest bit. And so we did this live by having like two of our, our electric guitars. We created a drum track and everything, and we tuned everything as close as we could to how the song sounded. And we had a friend take a video of our performance, and so the entire time we were like watching our old video. We were watching the videos, and we were trying to discern, what had gone wrong. And we realized that the entire song, the whole way through, and we're like, something sounds off about this. We couldn't figure out what it was. And then Everett, with his brilliant mind, out of nowhere, was just like, hold on. This sounds like a wet fart.
What I had done, I had my pedal, I had it on, what did I have on it? I had it on, what pedal was I using?
It was like a heavy distortion pedal for like a practically acoustic song.
That I was using for my bass, and it just sounded like it wasn't good.
It wasn't
right.
What did the family say?
They loved it. Like they said that Caitlin sang it beautifully, and like she did.
But it was over top of a wet fart.
I don't usually say this. If you're listening to just the podcast or the radio version, you have to watch the video on this one. Chris just keeps getting quieter and quieter, more off the screen as the show goes. All right, 2 more questions. Before I do that, anxiety at best, it's right below them on the screen in the video right now. That's I before E for those of you that struggle with that like I do. .com, anxiety@best.com. Self-titled album, and earlier we listened to their track Your Life, Your Nutshell, which you can request at buildthescene.com, and I'm assuming listen to and purchase all over the internet on all those normal what was the word I was going to use? The normal digital ways of doing it. it's getting late. Things, my synapses, I can remember synapses. My synapses aren't connecting, so I can't think of the word I want. But synapses comes out. All right, so I want to give you another hard question, but I have to decide which one. Maybe not hard, but off the wall kind of question. I hope I didn't ask this one before. If I was flipping through his social studies book and I come across the section in that book that has anxiety at best in it, why would your band be listed in a social studies book? What would the topic be?
There must have been some kind of publication mistake.
That's perfect answer. We're going with it.
That's it.
Okay, last question. What is coming up for anxiety at best?
Well, we are currently working on what is yet to be determined to be. It's hard to word this, but we started working on an EP, and then we kind of took a little break from that, and we recorded a song just this past weekend that we aren't sure yet whether we're going to put out as a single or if we're going to turn it into another EP or album. And as far as, shows or anything, we're trying to get out there. There's a couple of prospects looking kind of good for us, especially with summertime coming up soon. Doing outdoor shows, we can do them safely and socially distanced. So we're hoping to get on some of those shows. Other than that, we're planning on trying to get out more videos, trying to get another music video out there. And we are hoping to do some live streams for you guys soon, too.
I lied. I have one more question. What is your drummer's name? Let's see how creative you can be.
Is it Bozo?
That sounds good.
Bozo? It's Bozo. We have a little alien puppet that we named Bozo. He's our drummer.
You want to see him?
Sure.
Go get Bozo. Why'd you wave?
I was saying 1 second.
So again, for those of you that have not seen the video, you have to go watch the video to see why I keep asking about the drummer. All right, I have a story for you guys once we go off the air.
Here, let me hold him. You can tell your story.
I'm telling the story off the air. Right.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so this has been episode number 558 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. I want to thank Anxiety at Best for coming on and entertaining me for the evening. Make sure you check us out each and every Friday. And make sure you check out our other podcasts, 3 Questions and a Song, which is the 1st and the 15th. That one features any genre from anywhere in the world. And then you also will be able to watch me interview some of the people that will be on the SOS PGH concert series on the Wednesday before the Thursday that they play. So if they're playing Thursday, I'm talking to them Wednesday. Anyway, check us out at buildascene.com. We are going to head out, and you're going to get to listen to some more of the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer. When you hear the American Hilljack John Lane's voice, you'll know that the episode is over. That doesn't mean leave the station you're listening to. Hang out there, listen to the music they're providing. Most of them play unsigned music. Some of them, like megarockradio.net, plays a mix of unsigned and signed. So, just like my show is all over the place, so are the stations I'm on, including literally all over the place. You have rootaroo.radio.com, which is in San Diego, California. Mega Rock Radio and 107.1 FM are in St. Louis. XRP Radio is in Birmingham, United Kingdom. altrockradio.ca is in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And buildascene.com is in the thriving metropolis of Leechburg, Pennsylvania. We have 2 red lights. 2. Count them. My name is Bill. This has been episode 558. We'll catch you next week.